Hello students, in this lesson we are going to study coding of the file SplashScreen.kt. We have provided this file in the resources section. Please use it as a reference. In this file we are defining an activity class. An activity Java class defines the functionality of the app. Each activity implements one screen of the app. This activity class is implementing splash screen of the app as shown. It is the first screen to be visible when app opens. This screen remains for a fixed amount of time before next screen display. Splash screen is normally used to display the company logo, name, advertising content, etc. Activity class implements callback methods of the life cycle of the app screen or activity. We don't need to implement all the callback methods. We have provided more details about callback methods in one of next lessons. Now we will study coding of the file SplashScreen.kt. We have first used package statement to declare package header. The class defined in this file will be part of this package. Then we have added import statements. We are declaring class main activity. This class is extending class AppCompactActivity. It is base class for activities that wish to use newer platform features on older Android devices. We are overriding callback method onCreate. This is the first function to be called when the activity is created. This function is declared in activity class. Activity class is one of superclass of the class AppCompactActivity. As you have seen earlier, we have extended class AppCompactActivity. OnCreate function requires parameter saved instance state of type bundle class. Bundle object is used for passing data from one activity to another. Basically, here concept of key value pair is used. Bundle can hold all types of values such as int, string, boolean, char and pass them to the another activity. Bundle is a class in the package Android.os. This package provides classes and interfaces for basic operating system services and inter-process communication on the device. We have appended question mark operator to the bundle class. By adding a question mark to the type, we let the compiler know that the variable is nullable. In the absence of this, if we try to assign null to the variable, then error will be raised during compile time. Now we are starting function definition. We are passing parameter to superclass method onCreate. Then we have called method setContentView. SetContentView method accepts a layout resource as an parameter and sets it as the layout for that activity or screen. Layout is the structure for a user interface in an app. We have passed r.layout.activity_splash_screen as parameter. R is auto-generated class from resources during the build process. The r.layout is an auto-generated class that contains ID for all resource files in the layout folder. Activity_splash_screen is a static final member of the r.layout class and it represents the layout file activity_splash_screen.xml in the layout folder. We are creating handler class object. A handler class allows you to send and process message. There are two main uses for a handler. First, to schedule messages and runnable to be executed at some point in the future. And second, to queue an action to be performed on a different thread than your own. Constructor of this class requires one parameter. It is looper class instance. Looper class is used to run a message loop. We are calling static method myLooper on looper class. This method returns the looper object associated with the current thread. We are adding double exclamation in front of the method. It is called not null assertion operator double exclamation. It converts any value to a non-null type and throws an exception if the value is null. It means if looper object is not created, exception will be thrown. Now we are closing constructor for handler class. After creating handler object, we are calling method postDelayed on it. This method causes the runnable to be added to the message queue to be run after the specified amount of time. The runnable will be run on the thread to which this handler is attached. This method requires two parameters. First parameter is runnable that will be executed. Second parameter is the delay in milliseconds before runnable start. Now we will see how to pass argument for first parameter. We are starting code block to create instance of runnable. First, we have created instance of the class intent. An intent class creates description of an operation to be performed. Constructor of this class requires two parameters. First parameter is a context. We have passed this as argument for first parameter. Second parameter is the component class that is to be used for the intent. We have passed main activity as an argument for second parameter. We have added class.java to it. Here we are getting Java class of main activity which is defined as Kotlin class. Kotlin is designed with Java interoperability in mind. In other words, Java code can be called from Kotlin and Kotlin code can be used from Java as well. If you want to get the Java class, you can write instance class.java or class name class.java. We are calling function also on this intent object. The Kotlin standard library contains few functions whose sole purpose is to execute a block of code within the context of an object. These functions are called as scope functions. Also is one of scope function. Scope function are called with a lambda expression or function. Also executes the lambda expression block with intent object as its argument. Lambda expressions are similar to functions, but they do not have a name. A lambda expression is a block of code which takes in parameters and returns a value. Lambda functions can be treated as values. Lambda is defined within curly braces. Inside lambda expression, first we are calling function start activity of activity class. Activity class is superclass of app compact activity. This function launches a new activity. This function requires one parameter. This parameter is the intent to start. We are passing it as an argument for the parameter. In lambda expressions, implicit name of a single parameter is it. In our case, it is the name of object of the intent class. Next, we are calling finish method of activity class. As seen earlier, activity class is superclass of app compact activity. Finish curly brackets can be called to kill destroy an activity instance. Finish curly brackets calls the onDestroy curly bracket method right away on the activity. If you don't need to close your activity manually, which is true in many cases, you don't need to call this method. Now we are closing lambda expression. Next, we are closing code block for creating instance of the runnable class. Now we have to pass argument for second parameter for the method postDelayed. As seen earlier, second parameter is the delay in milliseconds until the runnable will be executed. This value will be of type long data type. For second parameter, we are passing 2000L as argument. Here we have appended the suffix L to the value to specify the long data type value explicitly. Now we are closing postDelayed method call. Next, we are closing definition of the function onCreate. At the end, we are closing class definition. Dear students, now we are going to close this chapter. If you have any further related questions not resolved in this chapter, please message us. Also, don't miss to check attached resources for source code and additional information. Goodbye for now.